how did a couple of brothers from the western suburbs end up running pubs in Fremantle? You began with the Seaview Hotel in 1980.
I'd always wanted to own a pub since Jim and I went to school in England and lived in a village in Kent. We always liked the feeling of those pubs, and I thought I'd love to have a pub and try and replicate that, the English feel. And fortunately, the pub down the road from where Jim and Mag lived at the time was just up from the Seaview Tavern, and it came up for sale, and that's how it all began.
And Joe, you were a younger chap at this stage, dragged along for the
Yeah, I joined when I was 21, I think. We bought it in 1981.
1980, I think you came in 1981. Yeah.
I went down to work at the pub to earn a quid. I was 6'5" when we were in England. I really strongly remember the walking into the pub with Dad and the smell of the beer and the one-armed bandit and the getting a lemon squash. It was just fantastic.
And so just touching on those Seaview days, you went pretty hard on with the music at the time, so as the America's Cup sort of followed that period, and Jim was fairly instrumental in...
Yeah.
Music started in a tiny sidebar with the formal dining rooms that all the old pubs had. It was very small, and we started playing acoustic music in there. John and I played in our first band in 1969. John didn't go on being a muso.
Lack of talent.
No, I don't know. It was a popular little band. It was a schoolboy band, and so that influenced me greatly. And the Seaview was, I believe, the first alternative music venue in Fremantle.
And a lot of the next generation musos, like myself, were young kids.
Yeah,
climbing around the furniture in those days.
It was very family, which this Clancy's is too.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Jam Tarts, they're going to go all the way to the top. Big hand for the Jam Tarts, live on countdown.
Lots of kids running around. Once again, like the current Clancy's, it was very embracing to families and kids and very influential.
So if we fast forward to 1988, you purchased then Clancy's Tavern in Fremantle, and with a bit of a plan to change the sort of branding and ethos of the place.
So we ended up here with a 2.5-year lease and then spent a ridiculous amount of money to secure that. So yeah, there was no plan to it, Tom, if you really want to know, but it worked, yeah.
A shared love of alcohol.
The Irish pub scene was starting to change. It was becoming very commercial, and a lot of other pubs are doing it. So we went another way, and we spent a lot of time thinking about what we do, and we were quite cutting edge. We thought we'd go for fish and chips in a pub, serving good beer and a little bit of music, and that's where the Clancy's Fish Pub idea came from, really.
Music in pubs has sort of fluctuated over the last 20 years in particular. How important do you think it was?
Well, I think for us it was just part of us and part of our brand, and we...
Mind you, this was before brand was known as a word for things like that.
Yeah,
we were pre-brand.
Yeah, but it was just part of what we did. And we thought, well, let's not do it at some stages, and then it was kind of really empty. So to me, it's really so much part of what we do, and it's part of our family, that we couldn't run a pub without it.
You credit yourselves with no plans, but instinctively you made some very good decisions along that.
There was a front bar pub. It was a blue singlet pub, but we ended up with artists and musos and really alternative people.
I think there's an odd lawyer in there or something.
Well, yes.
Very strange.
Lawyers and playwrights.
So we had childcare in this room for the first 6 months or something, and that established it. It just completely smashed the old Irish thing went.
You were the first pub to ban smoking here before it became a law, which immediately it was a big risk. Everyone thought, oh, you're crazy, but that's what it brought. It brought the families who wanted to bring their kids. They could run in the park, and the folks could have a beer out the back and keep an eye on them, and that was a very
innovative. Lost half the front bar for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Not long though.
They didn't have long to live in. I played every night of my life until 85, 86 in pubs that were full of people, and that whole culture changed in that 5 years. And so people, I think Clancy's was at the start of readapting to the new set of conditions. And I think the Seaview had been a bit of a training ground for that.
And we're the first pub to break the monopoly of the Swan Brewery, and we had Guinness, which we were very good at Guinness, and then we adopted the local beer, some very early breweries, and they're still with us today actually.
Yeah.
And that was a big turning point in our appeal, I think.
There's one day that I thought was really fantastic. It was the old day out. Yeah, there it is.
I don't know if you can see that. Sorry.
Yeah.
So that was the poster.
I can't disappoint them.
So I've gone from playing here in the 70s to, we used to do my comedy band, the Sensitive New Age Cowpersons. I think some of the nights down here with that were probably some of my most enjoyable nights, just really having the place roaring and laughing and having a great time. And I still play here every now and then, which is just a great thing to be able to do, to still be involved on that level.
The thing that I'm particularly proud of too is we've started the Fremantle Folk Festival, which has now run for 2 years out in the park, and it's just been an amazing atmosphere and vibe. Everything we love about Clancy's in a festival, and we're rolling again this year and it's a lot of fun. So far we've had the likes of the Pigram Brothers, Donna Simpson from the Wakes, we've had Dad playing, of course, a Sensitive New Age Cowperson. Lots of amazing young up and coming acts like Stella Donnelly and the likes, and it's a huge deal.
When you look around this pub and you see little humorous posters and ads, that's Tom's great touch, is the sense of humour he brings to it all. And I think these guys as bosses and Tom, that's why staff and customers are loyal.
It has to be evolved around people who carry on the ethos of it, and it's not, there's not trained or anything, it's just actually part of it. It's just part of the blood sort of thing, I think, and it's been fantastic for us.
Sort of a similar sense of humour. We have
Incredibly good sense of
very, very degrees of
Handsome.
Yeah, we've got other members of the family who try.
Well, fish pub boogie. I said fish pub boogie. Come on, fish pub boogie. A fish pub boogie. Come on, baby. A fish pub boogie with me. I said fish pub boogie. A fish pub boogie. Come on, fish pub boogie. I said fish pub boogie. Come on, baby. A fish pub boogie with me. Well, fish pub boogie. I said fish pub boogie. Come on, fish pub boogie. I said fish pub boogie. Come on, baby.